they're direct stealing. Hey, that's a real bummer. Got big blocks on that side, big blocks on this side. That's like stick welding on right there. Having two intakes that don't work. There, I blew them out. Just so you know, they checked it twice. What's going on, everybody? It's Tim and we're back. We made it through the holiday, Thanksgiving. Hopefully y'all had a good time with your friends and family. And we're back to work in the shop. So parts start showing up once we got through the holiday. Here we are with our two 454s. They're just kind of sitting there. We painted them yellow. We've heard them both run. This one on the right was in the big motorhome we drove around. And this one on the left was in Blake's C30 that we just LS swapped. So we got some parts ordered. Both of these engines had oil coolers mounted on the front. So those are the first thing that gets cut when you're taking the motor out. So I'm waiting on oil filter adapters that screw up in there. And I'm waiting on oil filters. I knew this getting in, but I have to buy two of everything. So that's what leads us to tonight. Some of the parts that start showing up. And you'll see this guy. Check this out. So I took a gamble, you know. Parts are through the roof right now. This is on a budget. These motors are fairly stock. We're not pushing the envelope. We're not looking for every horsepower. We will, but we're not yet. So my predicament was we're going to have a little school lesson tonight. And a lot of you already know a lot of this, but there's nothing else to watch unless if you're all caught up on Cletus and his good stuff, you can watch us. So we're going to go through a few things tonight. You see I got intakes on the motors, and you're probably thinking to yourself, well, Tim, what do you buy? Why are you buying Amazon intakes? Let me just show you this thing. They call this a JG Hyper C 3037. Quality control. It has two stickers on there, okay? Just so you know, they checked it twice. Water holes on all four corners. Very good casting. There's no dirt in it. Big solid flange for a 4-barrel. It's got your extra port on the front. It's got accessory hole there. It's got a place for your throttle bracket. It's got two dual hold downs for distributor. It don't look bad. I don't know. Well, I just realized that what's wrong. That's for a small block Chevy. Well, those aren't going to work. It says big block Chevy right on there. So let's see. I don't know. Maybe it will, but I doubt it. Yeah, it'll work. This intake just has different holes. Calm down, calm down, calm down. So I already got this intake over here loose. Let me show you what's going on. That's a big old stretch. Alright. What you got here is a Victor Jr. Elderbrock. Victor Jr. They called it the Victor 2R actually. Let me hold this up. Hopefully I'm not too close. So you'll see this has a twisted carb. This has the same bolts this does. Dual throttle bracket. This has a single hold down. I've never had a problem. I've never needed to hold down over there. So that's that. It appears to be about the same. This one's just blocked off. This is an older intake. I'd say this was replaced with the Victor Jr. So they got this. That's the same. If they line up. This only has coolant lines on the front. So a lot of guys do the bypass to help cool the back, which I'll probably do too, just because it looks fancy. I like braided line and making your mechanical stuff look brilliant. So you can, on this engine, we're going to do our sensor off of our heads. So electronic sensor. So anyway, here's the big problem that lies. Both of these motors are smoggy oval port heads. And I think this intake, since it's got machinist die on it, has been reworked. So if you get on the internet, and old timers will tell you can put a gasket on there and it'll work. Well, It does not. Okay, so let me find which way we are here. Okay. I'll get it right here in a minute. Okay, this is how this would go on that intake. Well, right here is massive holes. So every time I've ever got these motorhome engines or engines I would pick up, they always have these oval port heads. So this is a very good intake. This is rectangle port, high performance. Aaron Spinagle, guy on the watches and on Facebook, I seen a dyno engine of his, and these are within a few horsepower of the other Victor Juniors and stuff. So let's set that down. All right, so that leads me to having two intakes that don't work for what I want to do, because no matter what anybody tells you, they just don't line up, right? So I had some other options. There was a guy in Columbus that's selling new old stock stuff, and he wanted $700 for two Wien Team G single planes. 700 shipped, 600 pickup. That was a good deal. There was nothing wrong with that. New intakes are at 500 now. I don't know if you've noticed that or not. So I got on the old Amazon and rolled the dice here, and here we sit with what they call a Victor Junior. Let me grab the paperwork. I don't really know how they get away with calling it a Victor Junior. I mean, they're direct stealing that name, okay? JG Hyper C, and then it comes in this official binder for your records, for your engine build. And then it's a good looking intake. I mean, and you can see that this time around, now look how good we're gonna fit. Let me get it right. It's hard to do upside down and backwards. Okay, now we're going to fit so good. There is a little tiny water port there, so we probably will circulate water, which is a good idea. So that fits nice and good. We're not going to have any leaks. So that's what's going on tonight. And the fact that I got to buy two of everything, it just makes everything expensive. So I got two complete engine gasket kits. It's easier to buy a whole engine gasket kit than it is to just buy the gaskets you need. So that's what I did there. So we got two full engine gasket kits over there. These, we're not taking the heads off. These motors ran. We'll worry about that stuff later when we go to upgrade them. I left the motors back so I could change the cams with them installed. We will do all that later, but we got to get a foundation built, and we got to get it together and running and linkages and stuff like that. We can shoot for the big horsepower and stuff later. So that's what we're going to do. Also, I got on the phone and ordered some stuff from Rough Stuff Specialties. Now, I don't know anyone from Rough Stuff Specialties, but anytime I've ever ordered anything, it's showed up quick. It's affordable stuff. We got these plates for the back. These are for 14 bolt, and I got brand new U-bolts. I got a brand new bag of stuff. All washers and all the nuts. This time around, they was nice enough to send me some Rough Stuff little emblems. Looks like maybe you could tack weld them on. So I'll probably do that. I'll probably tack weld these on here somewhere because I got their parts on my truck. Maybe we'll reach out to them or something. I don't know. We got a starter there. Looks like a piece of crap. Let me show you these joints. I ain't talking about the tiny smoke, Dave Lemon, so calm down. These are just big joints. Also, Arte Umbe gives me crap for buying Amazon stuff. But let me tell you, man, it's all expensive everywhere. I got some of these parts on Dick Banjo. It's proven. We drove it everywhere we went. These are nice parts. They come with a nut. They come with a weld-on sleeve. Always go at least halfway. Give yourself halfway in and out before you do any welding. That's my tip of the day. Don't weld this sleeve too far in or too far out. Almost halfway in gives you almost full engagement. As a matter of fact, I probably recommend at least full engagement, which still gives you a lot of adjustability. That's a lot on suspension. So they also come with these high clearance side inserts. So we're going to use those, and we're going to make brackets for the rear end, all 4 of them. A lot of people online, there's a lot of buzz about this truck on Facebook, and everybody's telling me to offset the rear ends and do all this. And I'm not against trying that. I don't have any special tools here, but I figured it out. And I started looking on the old YouTube, and I couldn't find one single video where somebody offset a 14 bolt. So I'm running blind if I do it, I'll admit. So a lot of people have asked, wait till you try to fit those inside headers. Well, I've got, on the right side motor, I've got both headers on with new exhaust gaskets, and I got 8 new plugs in that motor. I went and bought, this is the problem with having all these big blocks. It's not a problem, it's just expensive. I went and bought 3 sets of plugs, 2 for this and 1 for Dick Banjo, and it cost me $150. We are also going to get the starter off Dick Banjo in this episode. He's a little sick. He's dripping antifreeze like we drove his car all over. So that's a little alarming. Everywhere there's a hose clamp. It's not coming out of the motor. It's coming out of the pipes. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this intake off here real quick, and then we will put one on. All right, I just got bolts on it just to keep debris out of the engine, and so I could also lift with it. There's no gaskets on these intakes. I got the motors. The engines are at top dead center, which we'll double check. But the balancer hasn't moved, so I know they are. And they were pointing in my favor. Oh, one more up here. So I also did some trading, and I got this intake. And I thought I was doing good because I had 2 intakes. And I can't use either one of them. So, you know, life's a dance. These engines are fairly clean inside. We're doing all new oil. We're going to do electronic gauges. That way I don't have to worry about lines, oil lines and stuff like that. That's about it. They're pretty clean. We'll probably just blow them out. There, I blew them out. And that's about it. Sometimes they'll say this side out, these do not. So it's up to you to figure that out. They only go one way, apparently. All right, we're going to still put our gaskets down the middle, down the sides. Gasket Kit sent me this Fayatsi, F-I-Y-A-T-C-Y, gray RTV silicone gasket maker. We're going to use it. It came in the kit. I've never seen RTV come in a kit before. I'll put the RTV to it. I cleaned all this up before I took them apart. Looks like my painter may got a little bit of paint on this one, but it'll be all right. First off, let's see if the intake fits. Before we go wasting RTV, let's see if the bolt holes fit. Okay, first thing I notice is it hangs way off in the front. Seems like it'll fit. That's a good looking intake. Look at that. It just sticks out a little bit on the front, but that probably won't hurt it. Let's steal it. China wall. Put it on there thick, somebody said. How thick do you want it? Oh yeah. That's thick. That's like stick welding on right there. That's good and thick. Alright, I'm gonna let that set up for a second while I find some bolts. Alright. Fill them corners in. These gaskets are kind of wanky. I'm going to fight them a little bit. I'm going to have to let them set up for a minute. Alright, I went and grabbed some shorter bolts. so far so good. She's fitting. All the holes are lining up. There wasn't no dirt in it or anything, so I'm happy. I don't see how it could go wrong, honestly. Like everybody's gonna be like, "Oh, Amazon, can't believe you bought that," but it's $145, free shipping. I mean, Jags isn't American. You know, you're not, if you order something from Jags, you're not getting it from Americans. So there's really not a difference, I don't think. There's a few spots where there's not enough room for a washer, so I gotta go try to find some small washers, or I may have to grind them out a little bit. They're just real close. So I'll get all this bolted on, and I'm gonna get the other one bolted on, and we'll drop some distributors. We're making progress. Woo! It's still hot, still hot, still hot. I needed some washers that had more clearance, so I just put them a bunch on a bolt, put it in the vise, flatten a bunch at once. And they're still mad about it. Hot little items right there. Hot. The gasket's in my way a little bit. Pow! Break it off. One more. Then we'll go back through and tighten them all down with the ratchet. Torque them. Clyde torque them. Kind of got a weird rail on the front. Get that stuff all over ya. All right, we got her down on there. It's tight. Everything went in. It's on. So gaskets went on good. Everything seemed to fit good. So let's keep on moving. Let's set that there. We don't have a water neck yet. In our kit, we got a new distributor gasket, so we're going to go ahead and put that on. These are nothing special. I just know they worked. We might have a few shiny pieces on here, but we're not really going for the show look. So it came out pointing towards number one. Let's put it back where it came from. All right. Although I pulled it out facing towards one, sometimes it's what I would describe halfway in between. So you can look right down in the hole here and you can see your oil pump push rod. Not sure if that was reaching. Might have to get a light. I want this point towards number one plug. That's what we're going for. You got a cam, you got to gear it into the cam. Let's see. It'll go in a couple different ways. I'd like it to be over a little bit more. All right, we got the distributor in. We got the intake on. Let's see if we can keep on moving. I probably don't have the right, well, I know I don't. I don't have the right hold downs for these valve covers, so these are probably too long. It's usually what happens. The shortest bolt you buy is usually a little bit too long. I like the factory set up with the stud and the nut, but that stuff gets lost. Let's see what we can do with this. See, we don't have the right bolts for the valve covers, so let's just put a couple on there just to keep the debris out, and we will get the right stuff. I like the little stud with the nut myself. These aren't really the best valve cover gaskets I've ever seen in my life. All right, ready to pull this header off, get the right gasket on there, start getting plugs in it. This is all progressive stuff. The transmissions will come back out. The motors should not have to come back out. I'm gonna try to keep these in here for the rest of the time. Got these AC Delcos, baby. I like to run AC Delcos because they come pre-gapped. They're gonna say, well, what? Yeah. Oh, man. I think I broke it. You always drop one, and it always makes you think, I hope I didn't break that. Since they're $5 now. There's one broke off in there. Always start your spark plugs by hand. They don't go in by hand, there's something wrong. I'm up to raid my bolt drawers for header bolts, all kinds of different stuff. All right, we're moving along. We'll start making a list of these plugs I need. I'd like to do 90s with water lines. Maybe I will, I'm not sure. So we'll see. Stuff some rags down in that mouth. All right. Well, really just need valve cover bolts, and then I can get the valve covers done. And then we'll start getting the plugs on the other side, header on the other side. It's just twice the work, you know, twice the fun. I'm pretty happy with that Amazon intake, I'll be honest with you. I'm going to unbox this other one here, and I'll show you what to expect when you take it out of the box. All right, we just showed you me installing one of these intakes. So it feels too good to be true. It goes right on, it seals good, it fits good. So I like it so far. So I'm going to open the other one before I install it, just so you know what to get. I bought these directly off Amazon, $145, free shipping, made in China. These got here in 3 days. I ordered these Wednesday, Thursday, and they showed up today. So they weren't in China, they were in America to get here that fast. JG Hyper is the company. So I bought 2 and they came in one big giant box. No padding, so be careful. There's no foam, there's none of that. This is how it comes right out. So I feel like I got very fortunate. There was no damage. Because they were just in a bigger box. And the bigger box had no padding. So they give you this paperwork. JG Hyper C. It says right on it, Victor Jr. 454-R and Victor Jr. 454 oval port. 392 to 502, catalog number 2904. If you have any questions, feel free to contact us at jghyperx@gmail.com and Facebook. That gives you a thing for your binder. If you're building an engine, you can put this in your engine binder, if people still even do that. This normally requires a slight recalibration of the carburetor, since small losses of fuel signal cause the engine to run somewhat leaner than without the spacer. So we did buy the single planes, although we're not making single plane horsepower. I didn't want to have buyer's remorse. The dual planes actually took longer to get here, so that's why I went with these. That's your only padding right there, folks. So this one only has one quality control sticker on it, but the threads look good. A little off-centered, but the real question I thought was, are all the head bolts going to fit? They did. The only thing I don't know, is the carburetor spacing right. I hope. Is the water neck spacing right? It should be. So let me grab a wrench and pull this off. So although this is not a Victor Jr., this is a Victor 2R. This is an older unit. I'm not sure the exact specs. Some people call these tarantulas, but I think they made a tarantula intake. Leave a comment if you know. Because the carburetor's crooked, I specifically remember tarantulas as a kid. I didn't really remember Victor 2Rs. So I'm not sure on the timeline of these. I'd have to guess 80s. I'm guessing, that's a guess. But typically what you're familiar with is a Victor Jr. I don't have one of those around. I do have one for a small block, Worker. But anyways, here we are. Gopher Rider stickers keep falling around. So go check him out on YouTube. Gopher Rider. He's probably at a car show right now. So here's the side-by-side comparison. So the Elderbrock is V-shaped on the bottom. It won't sit flat. That's one thing I noticed. There's ribs on the bottom. This is all open underneath, so I can't suck. There they are. What I do like about the Amazon one is the 4 water ports. I do like that. These old ones do have the top bolts, which this one don't. I don't know why they didn't do the top bolts. So you only have 2, 4, 6 bolts. These actually have 4 on top. So that's what threw me off when it came out of the box. Maybe that's the difference. Maybe that's where I'm going to figure out what's wrong. Because they didn't put top bolts in here. There's 4 more bolts missing. So I don't know. We'll run it. We ain't building no boost or anything, so we'll run it. But there she is. I guess that is the major thing. There's 4 bolt holes missing on top. I feel like you'll be all right without it. It seals up good. Would be nice to have those other 4 bolt holes. That's why when I pulled it out of the package, I was like, what the heck is going on here? There should be more bolt holes. So Big Block has 16 intake bolts. What's their paperwork say? What are they saying? They're only going 12 intake bolts on their intakes. So be aware of that. Really the only thing is the lack of the top 4 bolts and the way it came packaged, but it's Amazon. If you don't like the way it came packaged, they'll send you another one out next day. So we're gonna try it out, see how it works out for us. What works for one person don't always work for everybody, but there we are. All right, we're already looking good. All right, it's Wednesday. We're back. I know the problem with this project is you're going to see a lot of things twice. So I hope you're just in it for the long run. We already got our, last night I put my now I can't say it, intake on Amazon, $145 special. I seen a guy selling one for $250 on Facebook today, so beware. These are only $145 on Amazon, so beware, beware, beware. I already put my silicone on my end walls, so we really just got to lay our gaskets on here, let them sit in there for a minute, start putting this one on. Don't want to take too much time on the easy stuff. Alright, so I bought the gaskets separate from the intakes. These gaskets, they don't lay down on there that good. So I'm going to take I dabbed a little silicone here and there. We're going to take this and screw down on there. Get it to sit there for a minute, so it ain't all running all over the place. Just taking a washer and a nut, usually some Velcros. If you use the rubber ends, which I have used the rubber ends with success, the gasket keys right into them, okay? And this isn't necessary. So you do it how you want to do it. I'm just showing you how I do it. I'm going to let these sit here for a few minutes, run the heater a few times, and hopefully they just kind of get where they want to get. Then drop that intake right on there. Now I'm going to fill in that top part there. Never hit the trash can. So let that sit for a minute. Alright friends, I'm back. Got big blocks on that side, big blocks on this side. Now we got an 88 Chevy with a big block in it. We got the van has a big block in it. I don't have nothing against any engines. I just really like big block Chevys. They are towing beast in stock form. Everybody talks about what the best engine is, you know, and that's a debate that's just based on personal preference. The fastest engine ever is a big block Chevy. Push rod engine, big block Chevy. Fastest ever, 470 mile per hour. Look it up. Ah, you got one shot, Jack. Going on pretty good so far. Get everything finger tight before you go tightening anything. That's my advice. As soon as you go tightening something, one won't line up. Usually how it goes. Jennifer is doing better. According to Sammy, she's talking better, she's moving around better. That's what Sammy says. But she seems to be doing okay. She's ready to get back in action, I'm sure. There could be a little more room between them, but whatever. A lot of people use Allen head bolts, socket head, which I like to use too on intakes. All right, how many more we need? Quite a few. These are major moves. We're making moves. Get the top sealed up. It's a big move. All right, let's work our way out. Make a few passes. Just take your time. Get your torque wrench out. I got my torque wrench set to about 30 foot-pounds on the right here. Oh yeah. Crew Chief Tim Miller. Come on, baby. I give him about 15 with the gun. Alright, that was about 18. Click, click. Got these rubber valve cover gaskets and they got tabs on them. We don't need no stinking tabs. They don't line up with our valve covers. Everybody says, why don't you use blowers and why don't you do roller rockers and stuff? Well, I want to, but it's all costs a lot of money. So we're going to do it in stages. Alright, we're going to get another distributor set. Distributor gasket. Whoop. We're going to give it the old wipe down. The old tub of towels wipe down. We'll prove all this stuff at some point. But it was working. The old tub of towels wipe down. Same theory on this. We want this to aim towards number 1 plug. That's where I took it out. Hopefully she goes right back in. Let's look. Yep. Alright, I want it over. Just like the other one, I need to walk that push rod over a little bit. I like my distributor cap to sit straight across. Sometimes you look at one and it's all cranked up in one direction. I don't really like that. It's really not how they were from the factory. Come on, baby. Let's try it again. It took me 3 or 4 times to get the other one just right. Alright, so your cam has a big gear on the end of it. And that gear right here, this gear goes in your cam gear, which turns your distributor. But it also turns the bottom, which has got a tooth on it that runs your oil pump. So in case you're wondering what I'm doing here, I'm reaching down in there, trying to move that over so I can drop my distributor in right where I want it, my preference, which is going to be right. That's better. I would rather it be a tooth over, and I don't know why I can't get it to go in a tooth over, but I'm going to try it one more time. That's where she's going to go. I'm telling you, that's where it's going to go. That's where it wants to be. It's telling me that's where to put it, so that's where we're putting it. So I got to get all these fittings, figure out what I want to do there. I'd like to do, man, no matter what, you always get silicone all over you. Probably going to do some water bypass thingamajigs, and then big radiator, dual radiators. We're going to have 2 radiators, one for each motor. That way one don't affect the other. One motor won't overheat the other that way. Get what I mean? Okay, so got both headers on this engine, one header on that engine. We're going to, a lot of people don't think that the headers fit, but they do. It's not the easiest thing, but they do. Let me put this valve cover back on so I'm not leaning over grease, oil. Alright, so we got plugs in every motor. Plugs there, plugs there, plugs there. So we just need to put a set of plugs on that side. Both motors got plugs in them. We're going to have to make a checklist, start writing stuff down. BFL, what does BFL stand for? I ain't going to say it. You got to guess it in the comments. Somebody will win something. We'll send you something from Art Captain if you can guess in the comments what BFL says. First person who puts that in the comments, what BFL means. All right, we're going to warm up, take a break. All right, we got both of those intakes on. There's not much else we can do till we get more parts. So we're going to figure out what's wrong with old sick banjo here. Got a little cold the other day. It was leaking water and antifreeze out from under it, a mixture. And I tried to start it to get it in here and ended up breaking the starter. Never did get it to start until I got it in here. I broke the starter outside, so we kind of moved it around, and I noticed that she had it in gear, so that kind of moved the engine. So when I got it in here, I tried to start it, and it did fire up. It was running really rough, but it did fire up. So the starter or the flywheel is broke. So I could really probably get under there and do it, but if I want to film it, I'm going to do it from up here. Headers come off real easy. We're in. There he is. I already got the battery unhooked. Starters are designed to break first, but every once in a while it would miss. I got graphite on the drive shaft down here, so we will see what happens. Still being a jerk leaking antifreeze. We're going to go through all that too. Come on out of there. I got a burn on the back of my hand, and I hit that on everything. It will not heal. People out in public look at me like a crazy person. I'm allergic to Neosporin. Bad news, folks. Flywheel is junk. Man, that's a real bummer. Sorry, Dick Banjo. Oh, man. That's a bummer. That's a bummer. It's got to come apart. We got to put a new flywheel in it. All right. Look at that. So I still don't really know why it wanted to do that. Don't really know why it didn't want to start. But there's nothing leaking out of the block. If there are freeze plugs, we're going to pull it out, I guess. We're going to pull that carburetor off, and Dick Banjo gets a redo. Shouldn't be that hard. World's great, easiest engine pull. That comes off with one bolt. We'll take the power steering stuff off and try to hang it up. I might redo that too while it's down. It's December, so we might just take advantage of it being in here, tear it down. So that's a bummer. It was grinding on me every once in a while this summer. It would miss. Bow! It would bark like a little beagle. Bow! I didn't even look, see if the starter's junk. You know it is. I'm surprised it did that to the flywheel, to be honest with you. But we will definitely replace that because there's no reason to put that back in there and do it again. So, and I'll probably just change the clutch while I'm at it, to be honest with you. I've been wanting to do some upgrades. I might do some safety stuff inside, put a little bit more firewall in it. This might be an opportunity to fix that firewall, put some sort of flooring in it. I honestly didn't intend to never have a floor in it. I just kind of ran out of time, and I made it safe. I used drive shaft loops. I got a major loop, like those loops right there, those covers, they're like 3/8 thick. Front drive shaft don't spin, but there's a shield. It literally don't spin going down the road. It's a part-time case with lockouts. I was really just kind of out of space and out of room. And then when we went out there to the show, them freaks needed a reason to disqualify us because we stomped everybody else's face in. So they came up with some bogus reason about that. So I just kind of, when people didn't like it, I like to leave it like that. Just to rub them raw. It's not a personal preference of mine to not have a floor, but it was working out. So anyways, this motor's coming out. Might be time for a change. What should we do? Just fix it, put it back together with a new clutch? Should we try to put a big cam in this motor, which is probably running on borrowed time? Really don't have the resources for a motor tear for an engine build. But there's really probably nothing wrong with this motor. We'll just spruce it up, pull it out, fix some gaskets, put a new flywheel in it, and that's it. So it's not all big block heaven around here. Big Dick Banjo's hurt. We're still building this, but we got them both inside. What an opportunity to work on two sweet rods. So we're doing what we love. This is probably going to run towards the end of this video. Hope I didn't bore you too much. This is wintertime in Ohio. Try to stay warm. Work on stuff that you can. You take the good news with the bad news. I got quite a few vehicles, so I don't get concerned overly mad when something breaks, because when you got this much stuff, stuff's going to break. So just keep pushing forward. This isn't a couple $100, probably. A new flywheel and clutches. Probably not that much at all. So anyways, that's just cheaper stuff I put in there during the build off anyway. So we got our use out of it anyway. All right. Next time you see this thing, the motor will be hanging in the air.